Welcome back to Tom's Rescue Chickens and Vegetable Garden, where we explore the world of small urban vegetable gardening, sustainability, DIY projects, and our beloved rescue chickens. Today, we're focusing on one of my favourite aspects of our almost self-sufficient attempt at living life in the 21st century, preserving our harvest to keep us going through the winter months. I'm going to make my spicy homemade sweet chilli tomato ketchup using ingredients freshly picked from our small urban garden. This is a great way to use up excess produce and create a tasty, preservative-free condiment that'll last us well into the colder months. As you know, I've been growing several varieties of tomatoes in my polytunnel this year, so I'm going to make use of the different flavours and textures of the following: Gardener's Delight, Black Moon, Indigo Rose, and Honeycomb. Today, we're turning these beauties into a versatile ketchup that's miles better than anything shop bought. We'll be using 2.5 kilos of our mixed tomatoes, 2 large onions, and 2 cloves of garlic, all from our garden. The onion scraps will make a tasty treat for our rescue chickens later. We'll also need 250 grams of brown sugar, 5 tablespoons of oil, 360 millilitres of either white or cider vinegar, 3 teaspoons of salt, 3 teaspoons each of black ground pepper and ground cinnamon, and 1 or 2 teaspoons of chili flakes and/or nutmeg to taste. Our DIY process starts with blending our freshly picked tomatoes in a food processor. We don't even bother to peel them, they'll be having a second blend at the end anyway. Once blended, set them to one side. Then, we'll sauté our homegrown onions and garlic in oil until translucent. The aroma of these fresh ingredients is incredible. After adding the remaining dry ingredients and stirring them in, we'll introduce our blended tomatoes to the mix. This will simmer on low heat for about 40-45 minutes, stirred occasionally with the chili flakes going in for the last 5 minutes. As everything cooks down, our kitchen is filled with the most amazing scent. The sweetness of our homegrown tomatoes, the warmth of cinnamon and nutmeg, and that spicy kick from the chili flakes. It's a perfect example of how satisfying and aromatic homemade preserves can be. Now that our ketchup has simmered to perfection, it's time to bottle it up for long-term storage. For sterilising the bottles, I've found a brilliant hack that saves time and energy. I use my dishwasher on its hottest setting. It's an efficient way to sterilise multiple bottles at once, and it ensures they're perfectly clean and ready for our ketchup. I've got 4 1-litre bottles ready to go, which should be perfect for this batch. While the bottles are being sterilised, I'll give our ketchup one final blend to ensure it's smooth and consistent. For this, I'm using a hand blender right in the pot. It's much easier than transferring everything to a food processor, and it gives us perfect control over the consistency. I'll blend until it's silky smooth, no lumps or chunks in our ketchup. Now, here's a critical food safety tip. We need to work quickly to ensure the bottles are still hot when we fill them with the ketchup. This isn't just about creating a seal, it's primarily about reducing the risk of bacterial growth. Hot bottles help maintain the high temperature of the ketchup, creating an environment that's inhospitable to bacteria. I'll carefully funnel the hot ketchup into our sterilised hot bottles, leaving a small gap at the top of each one. By filling hot bottles with hot ketchup, we're essentially continuing the sterilisation process, which is crucial for food safety and longevity of our preserve. After filling, I'll quickly wipe the rims clean and secure the lids tightly. Then, we'll let the bottles cool at room temperature. As they cool, you might hear a satisfying pop sound. That's the lid sealing, which means we've created a proper vacuum seal. Once cooled, I'll label each bottle with the date and contents. These should keep well in a cool, dark place for up to 6 months, although in our house they rarely last that long. I've personally managed to keep this ketchup for several months without any issues, thanks to our careful preparation and bottling process. However, it's crucial to note that once a bottle is opened, it should be kept refrigerated and used within 1 to 2 weeks. I hope this inspires you to try growing and preserving your own produce. Why not check out some of our other videos? We're a new and growing channel, but we're starting to build a catalogue of content on urban gardening, sustainability tips, urban wildlife, and of course, more about our lovely rescue chickens. Hopefully, you'll find something that piques your interest. Thanks for joining me today. Until next time, happy gardening and happy preserving.